Good morning, everyone. I am Rev Wendy Silvers, and this is Awaken, a sanctuary for your soul. This morning, what came through in my meditation has to do with truth, trust, and love. So truth, the actual definition of truth, is the property of being in accord with fact or reality. Now, as humans, reality can be shifted, correct? I mean, there's right thinking, right seeing, and then there's perception. Two people could be in a situation and have very different perception. Reality, with the big R, is that which is unchangeable, birthless, deathless, eternal. I am someone who values truth and honesty very highly. Besides being committed and working a program of rigorous honesty for decades, I have Scorpio in my chart. I'm a psychic medium, intuitive, so truth is really important to me, and I can suss it out. So as we are entering, I was in a meeting, somebody was talking about today is almost like getting in the saddle, getting back to life. I remember, I don't know if anyone here has ever heard Ultra Nate's, I think this was Ultra Nate, back to life, back to reality, back to life. So we had New Year's Eve on December 31. And it was in the middle of the week. So we had a couple of days to kind of be in this very holidaying vacation space. Yeah. Did you experience that too? I certainly did. It was really lovely to step away, as you always hear me say, to withdraw my awareness from the focus on the external and just be in that very cocoony, connected, relaxed space. So when I think about honesty, and I think about truth, it reminds me of trust. Because to be a trustworthy person, your words and your actions must match on a very consistent basis, which also leads into humility. And in my world, humility means being teachable. What does that have to do with trust and truth? Well, in friendships, in colleagueships, in strategic alliances, it's really important to be trustworthy. And how can you be trustworthy? When your actions and your words match. Many years ago, I heard this phrase: when you point the finger at someone else, you've got three pointing back at you. Have you ever been accused of doing something that you didn't do? And you tell the person, I didn't do that. And they say, yes, you did. And you're like, no, I didn't. And it hurts when somebody accuses you of something you didn't do, depending on who it is, right? So the antidote for being untrustworthy, which is somebody whose words and actions don't match, somebody who's kind of slippery, says a lot of things, makes a lot of promises, but doesn't follow through, isn't really available, says they're going to call, doesn't call, or tells you to call them, and then they ghost you, and then they love you when they see you, but they're really not available, or they accuse you of things that you're not doing. So it makes you wonder, like, why am I being accused of this? And there's no forgiveness. Right. So I'm skimming the surface, but I'm bringing up some issues because if you go into 2025, and as I go in, as you know, we're going to be doing Thrive in 2025. I did a little bit of a taste testing last week, but it's really important to be in alignment energetically, vibrationally with what you wish to experience, which is why it's so helpful not to set resolutions, but to set intentions so that you can bring your attention to your intentions, and you can, if it is for your highest and greatest good, manifest those things into reality. Speak into existence that which you seek to create, to experience, to share, to receive. So being honest means being honest first with yourself. What's your motivation? Do you do an inventory? Something that is a valuable tool as a way shower, as an activist, as a game changer, as a human. Do an inventory to see what's your motivation in relationship. Are you somebody who's motivated by getting rather than letting or sharing? Are you somebody who moves from a place of lack? Not always obvious, right? That's the underlying motivation. But when you do an inventory, which I highly recommend, you can assess, was I being honest there? Or was I self-seeking? Was I moving from fear? Was I moving from love? You get to really look at, how are you showing up in all of your relationships? I look to see patterns. When I do my inner work, when I do my own inner inventory, what's a pattern that keeps showing up? And then I can turn to the God of my understanding, not the God of my misunderstanding, and invite God in so I can have a new experience. I can reshape, renew, resource, reassess, revise, refine, revitalize. It all begins by taking time in the stillness and honestly assessing, how am I showing up? Do my words and actions match? Am I trustworthy? Am I so busy, focused on what I want to get that I don't really pay attention to how that's impacting other people? Do I make empty promises? Do I say things just to make people feel good, or do I avoid, or do I do any of the things that I referred to? You can go back and listen to that. Because we've moved into the Aquarian age, right? Brotherly, sisterly. We're really accessing alternative ways of being. There's so many indications. There's so many things that are shifting and changing in the outer world in terms of structure. And each of us has a place in that. So you get to do your own inner work. You get to be your own midwife. Yes, there are people like myself and others that literally, that's my profession as a spiritual midwife, as a minister, as a counselor, to really help people access their highest potential within them. And then you can do your own inner work as well to really suss out, where am I? Where are my actions out of alignment with my words? Where am I holding someone hostage with unforgiveness? How can I be free? MLK Jr., God, what a visionary, what a way shower, what a teacher, what a brave, courageous man. And he talked about the 3 types of love: eros, philia, and agape. And I also remember him speaking about utilitarian. I've got to go back in my notes and my plethora of binders where I have inspiration and things, and look at, that utilitarian, which is basically a form of quid pro quo. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. Are all of your relationships like that? Or are you moving from, let's say, if you're not in a relationship, philia, reciprocal love, and then moving to a higher frequency of agape, which is God operating through the lives of people, through your heart. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend, is what MLK Jr. said. So my invitation to you this day is to, with great openness, no judgment, no shame, no blame. They are not spiritual tools. That is not a tool for transformation, to blame, shame, or make yourself wrong. What I know from being on a spiritual path since I was conscious, I can consciously, I remember saying things to my mom before I was even, 8, which is when I have a very conscious memory of some things that happened, beginning to happen. But the tools of transformation that I'm sharing with you are regenerative. They are to help assist you in being more of yourself than you have ever been before. So you can be that beneficial presence on the planet. You can be a source for a transformed world. If there's a lot of dust and grit from the journey, from the traffic of life, as Dr. Howard Thurman talks about, it's going to be kind of hard to be a pure channel, to be a pure messenger. You're going to have to work really hard to step away your personality so you can allow the living word of God to move through you in your relationships. So without being in self-loathing, I invite you to do this mini inventory. Are you somebody who's trustworthy, truly, genuinely trustworthy? Are you someone who is really interested in helping evolve forward a world that engenders love and kindness and compassion and generosity? Are you somebody moving from lack, or are you somebody moving from limitation? I got to get mine. I got to make sure no one gets it. Are you somebody who just says things to make people feel better, but you don't really mean them? You don't follow through? Are you somebody that accuses people and attacks people? Why? What's your motivation? What is moving you from that place? Are you somebody who keeps score? Are you somebody who is words and actions match? Are you somebody who's honest? Wow, that really hurt my feelings, or I felt threatened, or I really am excited about what's happening. How can I help you? Only you and you know. It's between you and your innermost you. So we're going to jump off. And for those that are in the Awaken program, we're going to move into the meditation aspects of our time together. I invite you to try this on. Let me know how this works for you. What jumped out at you? What did you notice? Was there a pattern? Was there something that you went, ooh, that's me. I do that. I've done that. I do that. I'm holding someone hostage. I'm angry at that person. I don't follow up. I don't return texts or calls. I'm too busy. I'm too important. I'm doing too important things in the world. Whatever it is, are you operating from philia, utilitarian, or agape love? So I actually, I'm so grateful for this agape, the Agape International Spiritual Center, founded and directed by Michael Bernard Beckwith. We learn so much. We get to learn and grow together. When I teach my parenting workshops and classes, I say this to people that are parents or people that are parenting their inner child. We'll get through this together. Have no fear. Don't need to activate your cortisol and be in protective mode. Live from that reptilian brain. You don't need to do that. It's a habit, it's a pattern, but you can release all that and be the fullness of your being in all of your relationships. And when you do that, the most right and perfect people will be in your field, right? Where are you willing to be made whole? Are you willing to release that which no longer serves you? Are you willing to be a greater place and space of love and appreciation and and fellowship, soulship? Yes. So I wish you a blessed and beautiful day. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Peace and richest blessings.